Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. It's the Jimmy Johnson's tournament this week, so it's busy in the Florida Keys, which is great. We got a lot of people in town spending money at the local establishments, which is awesome. We've had some breezy weather, but it looks like the guys are going to get a break for the Calcuttas. I think the Calcuttas start either Thursday and Friday before the Saturday event. So there's not a lot of sailfish around. The guys were catching a few, but with the moon being the way it is, it's been the pattern this year, of course. It's 3 to 4 days before the full moon. We've seen more sailfish activity than in the past. So, and it's happening out there a little bit, but not great. Just packs of them. But I anticipate, just like every other year, we'll get a big push of sailfish here within the next few weeks. And April will be good, as it usually is, where the guys will start racking up the numbers in the 30s and the 20s. The guys that are really focusing on those fish. I don't do much sailfishing anymore because I'm just really doing a lot of mutton snapper fishing, and I'm waiting for the dolphin to show up because I'm hoping that we get a good push of dolphin early so I can do some dolphin fishing. Haven't really got to do too much early season dolphin fishing, but I'm going to do it this year if they show up. But we'll just have to wait and see, and we'll see what the clients want to do and work with them. And I really do love the dolphin fish. I really do love it. And then, like I said, I'm trying to get back to basics and do more of that this year than I've done in the past because I really do enjoy the hunt of catching large, big fish out there. So until they show up, I'll be doing a lot of bottom fishing, which I really do enjoy doing. And 90% of my clients enjoy doing that as well. I get more and more requests every year for bottom fishing. So, it's cool. So I just don't recommend you book bottom fishing in the month of July. Because it's brutal hot and it can get slow. So, except for mangrove fishing, but we're a long ways off from that. So I'm not even going to touch on that today. Okay, I reopened my tackle shop. The link for that is goodkarmafishingtackle.com. Again, that's goodkarmafishingtackle. I'll put a link to that in my show notes. Now, I receive a lot of emails about where I buy stuff, who I buy it from. So I had this on my list to do for like the past couple of years, and finally Melinda said, you got to get this done, and so I did it. So I just don't like to sit in front of the computer, guys, to be honest with you. I did that for many years, and I get antsy, so, but I got it done. And I'll be adding some more products over the course of time. If there's a product not on there that you want to see, then you need to let me know. And if you purchase products through my site, then I can help you with the product. Now, if you're buying it from somebody else, I'm not gonna be very helpful. So, but if you're buying it, if you're purchasing through my site and you're loyal to the site, then I'll do my best to help you guys with the rigging tips. On the site, you can buy all the planer stuff that I use, as far as old salty planers. And also, for the guys that don't have downriggers, I put in the tackle shop the stuff that I used to use before I ran downriggers. So stuff that I don't really talk about much because I don't have a lot of time. But yes, I used to run poor man's downriggers and all that stuff. And I also have put stuff for the guys that run their planers without downriggers on there as well. So it's just more than just downriggers. And also, too, there's a really good price on a downrigger, electric downrigger that I use. I use the Canon Mag, and I think it's listed for like 300 something on there right now, electric. So, and also all the stainless steel bases and stuff that I use as well. And also Balloon Fisher King clips are on there in bulk and in the 5-pack, so you can purchase them through my site as well now, rather than going to other websites. So if you need to restock on those, you can buy those in bulk through my site. I would really appreciate that. Now, a lot of the stuff is through Amazon affiliates, so I do get a little kickback from that, but there's no extra cost to you guys through that. It was just the way that the world's working right now. It's just how it is. And if you're coming to the Keys, I would highly suggest what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting up items on the shop for people that are planning their trips down here, so they don't have to come down here and buy items that are not going to work. Okay, so I'm building something for people that are bringing their boats, need to buy materials, so that are going to catch you fish. Okay. Now, I haven't listed the Wild Willie's witches or the bait strips on my site because I'd rather you guys buy them directly from Elliot or from Elliot from Bait Strips or from Willie at Wild Willie's Witches. So it's just, when it comes to sea witches, you're better off just contacting Willie because everybody's got their own thing about what they want to do with the witches. And you're going to want to buy this one witch I'm going to put up because it's killer. And so you're just going to have to wait for this one. So hopefully it's done. It'll be here this week. And once it gets here, I'll reveal it on Instagram. I'll unpack it for you guys and show you. Now, also, too, on the site, I have a link for the Halco lures that I use for catching wahoo. I've been using these Halco lures for years. I kept them a secret. I actually would cover them up at the dock so nobody would see them and black out the pictures. I've got some pictures of the Halcos that I have wiped out on so nobody could see what I used because I was catching so many wahoo on them that I didn't want anybody to figure it out. So, but those days are over. I don't mind sharing anymore. So I'm confident with what I do. And again, I'm going to, like I said, you can buy those to my site. And I decided to reveal another Halco lure that I haven't talked about in the store. So you'll have to go there. And this one crushes it. They're hard to find, but they're making them in a smaller version, and they're a tuna killer for big tunas. Now, we're going to start seeing some yellowfin tunas up by the Bib and the Duane wrecks here pretty soon in northern Key Largo, and they're starting to catch a few on the hump. So if you guys want to catch tunas consistently and give them the bite, I put this lure color up there. It is my all-time favorite. I actually buy them in bulk. That's how well they work. So, but I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. You'll just have to go to the tackle shop, and I have it in categories, and click on Wahoo Lures, and then you'll see my Halco 190 bait fish, and then you'll see the other one. It's a smaller, it's a killer bait, and I'll be adding some more lures that I use to the site that I haven't talked about yet, and I'll reveal them as I go. So, again, I really appreciate you guys checking out the site. Thank you. And I'll leave it at that. Now, I'm going to finish the podcast with 2 fishing tips, okay? One, I want to talk about Speedos. And Speedos, you guys know that I'm a huge fan of Speedos. Not Speedos, the swimsuits. Never skip me in one of those damn things. Oh, my God. But it's deep drop season in the Keys. And you need to get a hold of some Speedos, because if you're planning on going yellow eye fishing or vermi fishing, they cannot resist the Speedo, okay? Cuts, bits of Speedo, honest to God, I've fished like squid and bonito side by side, and I'm not getting a bite. Then I'll tell the client, okay, just wait till see what happens, and I'll pull out the Speedos and I'll start cutting those up and using those for bait, and boom, yellow eyes and vermis go crazy for it, okay? So just because you market them and you got little pieces of squid, they're not biting, wrong answer. If you have some they more than likely will turn on and start eating again. So that's just a little tip with the Speedo. Also with the Speedo, you're out in some deeper water, you're fishing some wrecks, okay? It's amberjack season, as you guys all know. And there's also, there could be some big-ass muttons out there on these wrecks. So, and you have some live Speedos. I want you to take a Speedo out of the well, and I want you to pluck its eye out, okay? Yes, that sounds kind of demented. I want you to pluck its eye out, and I want you to take a big-ass number 9 or number 8 hook, and I want you to hook it through its tail, and I want you to throw that Speedo out behind the boat, and that Speedo is going to dart towards the bottom, okay? By poking his eye out, by ripping his eye out, he's going to make a V line to the bottom, Okay, he's not going to run away from the boat. He's going to go to the bottom, and he's going to go down quick. Now, many of you guys think that amberjacks are hovering on the bottom. They're not. Okay, so how it works is you've got the amberjacks that are stage high up on the column, along with big African pompanos. They're all mixed in, and your mutton snappers are directly below those fish eating the scraps. And there's not a lot of them now. What'll happen is you'll get a lot of amberjacks that are going to move in here pretty soon, and they're going to kick those muttons off a lot of areas. So, but this is a fun way to catch a fish, a fun way without like having to drop a big ass weight down. So you get the Speedo, you pluck its eye out, and I haven't tried it with blue runners yet, but I probably will here because it works really well. Now, in grouper season, during grouper season, this kills it, man. Get some live Speedos, and as you're catching your yellowtails, put them in the well, and then poke that when you're ready to catch that grouper. Pull the Speedo out of the live well, take its eye out, put the big hook down by the anus, and let that thing let that thing swim to the bottom, and watch what happens. So it's an awesome way to catch a big grouper. I mean, a big grouper with on a spinning rod. So that's just a little tip for you. It's been a secret for a long time, but not anymore. So I am here to help you guys catch more fish. I'm committed to it, and that's another tip. Also, too, one last tip. And I'm saying this time of year because it's not season yet, and a lot of you guys are going to forget it, but the good guys are going to take the notes. I might revisit it, but I don't know because I'm in a giving mood today. But catching giant black grouper. Okay, everybody's like, oh, you got to use live yellowtail. Yes, you got to use live yellowtail. Okay, yep, live yellowtail works good, but legal size. Don't get busted with undersized yellowtail because that's stupid. But every year some idiot does. So what you do, you take the 13-inch yellowtail, and you put a big weight in its ass. Yes, its ass. Like I think it's like a 2-ounce, like a 1 to 2 ounce sinker, and you put it in there. You put the big hook through the back of the tail. And what happens is that it throws the fish's balance way off, and it sends out more vibration. The fish is very much alive, but he slows down a little bit to the point that he looks injured, and that's enough to drive a big black grouper crazy. Okay, it drives him nuts. So again, try it. It works. Rather than trying to, most everybody takes a big yellowtail and they just hook it and throw it out there on the bottom. But if you shove a sinker up its ass, it's going to work even better. And the bite's going to come really quick. You're going to be like, oh my gosh. So you can free line that yellowtail like that too. And you can pop out that yellowtail's eye and then watch he's going to make a V line to the bottom. And then that black grouper that's down there that's not taking anything, he's going to eat the crap out of that yellowtail. So it sounds like it sounds kind of demented, I guess you can say, but anyways, man, whatever it takes to catch a big black. So if you want to catch like a big 50 to 60 pound black grouper, that's how you're going to do it. Okay. You get them all chummed up this season. And they'll come out of their holes for these things. They'll just remember how black grouper eat. Okay. I'm not sure if many of you guys, I might have talked about this, but they eat towards the bottom. So how it works is they come on top of it and then they run towards the bottom with it. So that's how it works. So, and they have to have time to turn the bait around. Okay. So just think of it like that. They have to turn the bait around and they got to eat it head first. The same goes with very large mutton snappers and mutton snappers in general, is that I see a lot of guys that get they get so amped up, they don't give the fish time to grab the bait, turn it around in their mouth, and eat it head first. That's how they eat, okay? They got to eat it head first, and if they dog bone it, then you're probably going to miss it, and the hook's you're not going to have time to get that big circle hook set. So just a couple weird tips there that I haven't talked about before, but I had them on my list to share with you guys today, so I'm sharing them with you. They work extremely well. So So you'll get to see that with me this May because I'll show you if we can get some live Speedos. Typically May, the live Speedos are still around in certain areas and you can get a hold of them pretty easily. And if we can't get those, I'll show you the old small yellowtail trick, the 12-inch to 13-inch yellowtail. Those sizes work the best. Also, live mangrove snappers work very well as well. The small 12-inch fish, those things, that's like candy to the big fish as well. I remember the first time I was at Sanibel Island years ago, and there was all these snook around, okay? And I was trying to catch redfish. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I caught a couple on live shrimp that day. And all these guys around me, these pier rats, were like trying to catch these small mangrove snappers. I just didn't get it. And I caught one, and the guy came over, can I have it? Can I have it? He begged me, and I was like, okay, yeah, you can have it. I'm not going to do anything with it. I was going to throw it back because it's too small. Oh, no, come here and watch. So we had all these snook underneath the Sanibel Pier, and they took the legal size mangrove, and they hooked it through the anus, right below the anus, and it swam away from the dock. Crazy. They didn't poke the eye out. I was like, and oh my God, man, the giant snook that everybody had been trying to catch with pilchards all day that were just sitting there like staring at you, those fish made a beeline for those small mangrove snappers. And boom, man, I seen the guys catch some of the biggest snook I ever seen off that pier that day with those live mangrove snappers. And they wouldn't touch anything else, crabs, pilchards, and there was so many people on that pier that day. And everybody, the guys, all the pier rats, like I said, those pier rats, they knew it was going to bite. So just like the time when I was at the Captiva Pass and the guys were catching the big snook on small ballyhoo after Hurricane Irma. I was like, they had a rotation going. They catch the live ballyhoo, and the big snook would go crazy, and that's all they would eat. They wouldn't touch a pilchard at all. So sometimes you just got to be a little creative. Like with Kubera snappers, everybody thinks that live lobster is like the end-all be-all. But small yellowtail snappers, blue runners drive them crazy. They like a fast bait, man. They like something fast. So just think about that. It's just they really do like those fast, small blue runners. Like if you're going to go amberjack fishing this season, have some fun, get the blue runners. Stop and get those. You will outfish. Like, it's crazy how it works. So I think I mentioned this in one podcast about blue runners versus goggle eyes. So I was, talking to a commercial guy, and he was out fishing the subrec off of Key Largo. Excellent spot to fish right now. So he was out there commercial fishing with live goggle eyes for amberjacks on the wreck. And he was catching them. And then another commercial boat came up behind him, and he had blue runners. And the fish shifted off of the live goggle eyes to the blue runners. So he had to run all the way back in to the reef, catch blue runners, and then go back out there to salvage his day. True story. Happens all the time. It's just like it when you're fishing for sailfish. You hear stories that you don't give them that first because that's all they're going to want. And that's true. They get keyed in on scaled baits versus non-scaled baits, and that's just how it works. So certain spots, fish only want scaled baits versus you would think that live goggle eyes would be like the perfect bait for mutton snapper. What's not. So you would think cigar minnows are perfect baits for mutton snappers. They're not. They're not scaled. Scaled baits, I think it's just sometimes certain wrecks and certain areas, the fish just go crazy for scaled baits versus non-scaled baits. And you could have you could be catching some muttons, and a guy pulls up with scaled baits, and he puts down the scale baits, and you're done. You're not going to get a bite. And you're going to see that guy catch them, and then all of a sudden your bite's going to shut off. It's nothing that guy did wrong if he's following protocol, getting in line on the rack and doing his drift, which is okay. Okay? Which is okay. You can fish a rack. A number of guys can fish a rack as long as they get in line, but use caution. The fish shut down when there's a lot of boats, unless it's going off. There's a lot of spooky fish there. All it takes is one guy to miss a fish, and then it's done. The mutton's shut off. So that's just how it works. But if they're going off, then you can catch a number of them. But if they're spooky and they've been fished and a guy misses one, it pretty much will shut the whole school down, and then that's it for that. Then you'll have to go find another party someplace else. And so, but that's all I got for today, guys. Please check out my new tackle site, and if you have any products that I'm using that you don't know where I'm getting them from, let me know, and I'll add them to the store for you, and I'll redirect you to them. So I'll be doing everything. Everything that I use is going to be going into that store. So, and the source that I buy it from, all except for the bait strips, and I buy my bait strips from Elliott London, and I get my sea witches from Wild Willie's. So, but there's some other products that I use, a lot of products, in fact, that I buy from certain sources, and I'm going to be listing them up there. So, but I'm sorry it's taken so long for me to get the store up. I've just been really busy, and I had it on my list to do, so I got it done. So Melinda had to kick me in the butt to do it, so I had to put away the fishing gear this week and focus on that. So the reason why I had some time this week is that we pulled the Sea Hunter out to get the windlass done, so I had a little bit of time because typically we fish in that boat if it's snotty. So and then I was able to move some charters around, but that's ending because then it looks like I'm back to work Thursday, Friday, and then she's going to blow again. So if you want to get signed up for my spring consulting program, I will take on 2 new clients in the spring, and I will probably reopen the course mid-April to late April so we can get ready for May 1st grouper season, and which leads me to what the topic is going to be. It's going to be black groupers and deep water red groupers, large mutton snappers, not small mutton snappers, big mutton snappers, and then we'll do deep dropping and possibly dolphin fishing. Dolphin fishing I might save that for, I'm going to do early season. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do early season dolphin fishing. I knew I had that on my list. Early season dolphin fishing on where to find the big dolphin early season. Early season, what I mean, right around April through May. And then I'll go over locations and where to find them and times a day. And it isn't just about finding weed lines either in that time of year or birds. So it's a little different. And I'll teach you how to set up trolling patterns and how I do it and how I find them. So, but that's all I got. Thanks for tuning in. Check out my tackle shop, goodkarmafishingtackle.com. Visit my website, goodkarmasportfishing.com. Instagram, goodkarmasportfishing_FL_keys. I'm going to be doing some stuff on there this week. Stay tuned. I've got some new lures I'm going to reveal from Wild Willie, and I'm going to be unboxing them on Instagram. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good.